Hey guys, it's me, Faye here at Faye Dusk, and I am back with another video. And in this video I wanted to talk about influences, and more specifically influences, things that influence your witchiness, and more importantly finding out what is it that influences your witchiness, that, you know, sort of gets your creative juices flowing, and how to find it. Obviously for each person, each witch, pagan, whatever form of magic craft you practice, your influence and what influences you, or what you find that helps to sort of inspire you and make you feel sort of influenced and to get your witch on will be very different. So what for me makes me feel all witchy and awesome and cool will be completely different from what makes you feel all witchy and awesome and all that sort of stuff. So for me, I find that my greatest influences for getting my witchiness on is definitely anything to do with fairies, obviously, because I practice an eclectic form of fairy Wicca, so anything to do with fairies. And for me it is definitely as well anything to do with magic books, more specifically. Like if I went into a bookstore, like I went into the Works the other day when I was looking for something, and literally as soon as I saw, every time I go to a bookstore I always gravitate towards the New Age and spirituality section, and literally as soon as I saw books on like magic and witchcraft and angels and fairies and stuff, I was just like, oh my god, like I feel so inspired, like I got so many ideas, like I need to get home now and film some videos. And literally I just find any sort of books on the occult and magic and stuff really influence me and make me feel ready to be witchy. As well, certain words I find for me make me feel like witchy, like I feel really like I'm ready to, you know, do whatever sort of witchy stuff I feel I can do. I just feel like ready. And for me it's like words like Wicca, witchcraft, fairies, magic, paganism, any of that. Any of those sort of words, if I'm reading something or looking on social media and I see something like a tag with those words, straight away, like I just find that just gets me really heavily sort of influenced, and I'm like, yes, I want to like look at that, like straight away. I'm like, yes, let me look at that, let me do that. How to find your influences is obviously, like I said, like each person's influence or trigger to get them witchy is completely different from someone else's. So I find the way to find, or how I found what influences me on my path, on my witchiness, is to just sort of like follow your intuition and take your time. You could even do a guided meditation, like if you have spirit guides or you talk to your spirit guides, like you could do a meditation to get to sort of speak to them and sort of get them to sort of help you, guide you on the path to find out what your influences are to be witchy. But yeah, I've definitely found listening to your intuition. I also found just sort of being mad, like just sitting, it's like really hard to explain, but I just found like I had to sort of go through things, like just sort of to find your influences, like for your witchiness, for your path. Like 9 times out of 10 it's not just gonna come up and slap you in the face. Like it's gonna come to you, but it's gonna take time, and that means that you're gonna have to be patient as well. And I found just sort of sitting there and just sort of really thinking about myself and what I am and who I am, and I just found this, or really looking into myself, really helped me to find my triggers, like my influences, like what inspires and influences my witchiness. And I just sort of, when I was sort of sat there contemplating, and then I thought about all the times of like when I go into bookstores and stuff, and when I sort of gravitate towards all the sort of new age and spiritual stuff, and I sort of thought about that and how it made me feel like afterwards. And I was just like, and then I sort of just had a moment, like a eureka moment. I was like, oh my god, that literally is what influences me, is like what gets me out of like a slump, like an influence that really sort of drives me towards being witchy and being ready to, you know, embrace that side of myself. And also as well, and then I thought about words, and I was just like, when hearing certain words as well, that's a really big influence for me. So you need to sort of look at all different sort of things, like what your interests are regarding your spirituality. I mean, yeah, you could, looking at words, like different smells may trigger your sort of feeling of witchiness. Like I always find smells that sort of influence me and influence my witchiness are definitely sort of more fall related smell, like what you associate like with fall and Samhain and Mayborn and stuff is like stuff like anything that's sort of got pumpkin in it, anything with like cinnamon and nutmeg and all that sort of stuff. So you could sort of look at smells, you could even look at tastes, like certain foods and certain flavors may really have a really big sort of influence over you and over sort of like your witchiness. May sort of different tastes may sort of inspire your witchiness, and you may find that that's what influences your witchiness. Obviously sights and sounds, like certain sounds and things may really sort of be the thing that influences you. And it's important to find out what your influence are, what triggers your witchiness, because once you've found that, especially as obviously everybody goes through slumps in their craft and their practice, especially with the stresses of everyday life and stuff and trying to fit things in. So when you're going through a slump and when you really feel like you can't witch, like you don't have it in you, you just can't do it, like finding out what your triggers and what your influences are could be really helpful as when you're going through that. If you say, I don't know, say the taste of cinnamon like helps to sort of influences you and makes you feel witchy, you could make yourself a hot chocolate and put some cinnamon in it, and then while you're enjoying your hot chocolate and tasting the cinnamon, that influence is starting to happen and it's starting to help you sort of get out of your slump and get back into your witchiness. So yeah, it's very sort of important to find out what your influences are, and obviously that will take time and you've got to be open to it maybe not being what you think it would be. And yeah, so I hope this video has given you some ideas and some inspiration. I would love to know what your triggers and influences are for getting your witch on. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you very soon. Blessed be.